First, I'm going to remove the bolt for the right side upper sway bar link. I'm going to use an 18mm socket and an 18mm wrench. And slide that out. Now I'm going to use a pry bar and just pry the link out of the bracket. Pry the sway bar down a little bit. Just slide that out of the way. And then with a 21mm socket, you can get on this bolt and then use a 13/16 wrench on the nut on the back side or a 21mm wrench and take this bolt out. Just keep in mind the whole rear suspension and rear end is going to shift a little bit when you take that out. Now, normally this rear parking brake cable has holders that hold these areas of the cable. This vehicle doesn't have that. We just have wire ties, so I'm just going to cut the wire ties. If you don't have wire ties, just remove the cable so it's not attached. Now I'm going to take this bolt out. Just use the 13/16 wrench or 21 and 21mm socket. Loosen this up. Be careful, you don't want this to swing down. And pull that bolt out. And there we go. All right, now we'll take the bar, get it lined up, and get the bolt started. Get the nut started on the back side. Now we have to get this upper one lined up. This might be a little bit tricky. You can take a pry bar and just pry the axle over. You can try to pry the sway bar itself. As you do that, try to get that lined up. Just watch your fingers. That's good. And put the nut on. All right, at this point, I'm just gonna use a couple screw jacks and try to raise up the rear suspension a little bit. Ideal if you could tighten these bolts while the vehicle's on the ground. That's the best method to do that, but it's not the easiest way to access the bolts. It's not going to be easy to use a torque wrench, so I'm just going to do the best I can, raise this up a little bit, and just get it somewhat close. Now I'm going to torque this bolt, use the wrench on the back side, and torque this to 77 foot-pounds. And do the same with the other one. All right, now I can lower these down. Now I'll get the sway bar link in position. And just use the pry bar, just pry this down a little bit. Get this to line up. Watch your fingers. Just give it a tap. And take the bolt. Get the bolt lined up. Now I'm going to torque this bolt to 48 foot-pounds. Now we're going to reattach this brake cable, this parking brake cable. Now I don't have those brackets, so temporarily I'm just going to use wire ties, but if you had those brackets, you're going to want to reattach those. And I'll just trim off the excess.